Hey there, Stampers, and welcome to another Step It Up video. This week we're going to use the OpenC that's in the Summer's Mini catalog. I love this set altogether because it's a great masculine set, but I love this stamp in particular. I'm a genealogist and it reminds me of the census, so I'll use it for some of my heritage pages as well. So anyway, that's an aside, but here's our first, this is our first card, step 1. And then the step 2 card and step 3. And you can see we just, for whatever reason, it was too plain to orient it this way and have it, but it seemed more suited for this. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll start with the step 1. We're using crumb cake as the card base, and this is 8.5 by 5.5 folded at 4 1/4 to make the card base. I don't know the name of this designer series paper. It's in the Summer Mini. I'll put it on text because really I cannot recall. Anyway, so you're just going to put a little piece there as the background, and then we're going to mat a piece of Very Vanilla in not quite navy, but first we're going to stamp it. And so let me show you what I did, and this is the same for all 3 cards, so I'm just going to do it the one time. The first thing I did was take this stamp from the OpenC, and I used, it'll work better if you have a pad, but I realize I don't have the crumb cake pad. So I use my marker and I ink it up, and then you're going to stamp it on just a piece of scrap paper because you don't want the full ink. You just want the residue ink after you've stamped it once to get that faded background look. So I use just a piece of computer copy paper, stamp it off, and then lightly stamp it. I do it actually twice. You can see it gets very faded. You just need a little more on that side. And that's all there is to that. And then the next one we do is we're going to use Early Espresso for the ship. And this is also from the OpenC set. And you're just going to ink it up really well. You want to look at it to make sure that everything is inked. And you're going to place it center but towards the top, because you want to have room for the sentiment. Just make sure you get good coverage, like so. And then the next thing I did is I took my little palette. You know how I love to do my dry aqua painter. I took a little not quite navy ink, and I used a little bit of the So Saffron for the sails, just to give it a little definition and color. And then there's no water in the barrel of the aqua painter. I just wet it like I would a paintbrush and squeeze it out so that it's damp but not really super wet. And I'll put a little water in the ink to flush it out a little bit. And I'm just going to paint along here to give the illusion of water. And you want it more concentrated over the Early Espresso stuff so you can see the blue. And then you're going to water it down and pull it out. Like so. And as you pull it out, you're going to dilute it even more to just give it that faint color of blue down towards the bottom. And while that's drying, I rinse out the brush and I go and do the sails. And easy as that. Once you have that painted, not doing my best because for time purposes I need to hurry through here. Then you're going to take birthday wishes or whatever greeting floats your boat. And you're going to stamp it. Oh, this was cleaned. It's wet. When I have trouble getting them to stick, you either need to clean your block or huff on the stamp. And so I'm going to ink it up with Early Espresso and stamp the bottom corner like so. And you know, maybe I didn't on my cards. I think I might have used Stays On for that because this is bleeding and my others did not. Just so you know. So then you're going to go ahead and adhere this to the piece of Not Quite Navy. And I had step 1 card oriented like this, and you're just going to adhere it down, and that's your step 1 card. Step 2 looks like this. Let me show you this one. So this one, you're going to take the same designer series paper, but this time you're going to mat it in Not Quite Navy, adhere it down. Going to use a little linen thread, and I just wrapped it around this part 3 times, tied a knot, added some more to the tied part, tied it off, and then I added just a couple more. So it'll be there, and you adhere it down, and that's your step 2 card. Step 3 had one extra thing. It had actually 2. So we have the same card base, the same matted piece of designer series paper, and then just like we did for the background of our image, I took this stamp and I stamped this piece of cardstock, you can see, and then I wrapped it with the linen thread like so and tied it, and then I adhered it down center, just slightly off center, a little bit to the lower portion of the card, and I trimmed it so that it was perfectly even with the mat of Not Quite Navy. And I did this, I put it down, I stamped it first, then I adhered it down, and then I turned this over and I snipped off the excess, and then I put it down. And then I added a brad to the birthday, which on this one I did it a little over so I could add a brad, but you could certainly add it here if you've already done that. And then just 2 little silver brads up in the corner, and that's your step 3 card. So I hope you found this helpful, and that's your step 1, step 2, and step 3. It's such a fun set, and I've been making lots of cards with it. So you can check it out on my blog and see the other ideas for this particular set and this designer series paper. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.